Produced by Victoire, the Masters of Wrestling gives a special thanks to Jesse Hernandez and the EWF Empire Wrestling Federation, and to each of you, our loyal viewers. And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Power and Glory, the podcast, the hottest sensation in the podcast world on YouTube. This is where you come to discover the power of truth in professional wrestling, but not just pro wrestling, Paul, in other facets of life too. We share pearls of wisdom, but those are laden with truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one of your co-stars, the Master Emir, along with my co-star. He is a former WWE and WCW superstar. He is a legend, ladies and gentlemen, a tag team specialist. He is Mr. Pretty Paul Roma.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that intro very, very much. Hello to everybody. I decided today to shoot from, well, let's just say the open air. Yeah, the open air. I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, listen, great show today. Lots to talk about. And I think we just step right into it.
We're definitely going to step right into it, Paul, but we're not going to step any further until our fans do what?
Well, you know, like anything, when I came off that top rope, if they told me to, I would have hit that subscribe button. I really would have, just on my way down. Once I hit, I would have pushed it. It would stay pushed forever. So that's what you people have to do. You have to push that subscribe, and let's carry on from there.
That's right. Make sure you powerplex that subscribe button. The greatest finishing move in tag team wrestling. Powerplex that subscribe button, hit the likes, and share with your friends and family. I also want to encourage anybody that is a frequent viewer of our channel, and if you support, if you like our content, make sure you hit those super chats, those super stickers. Also, if you're feeling in the giving spirit, I would say, Paul, make sure you hit that Cash App. That's the $ Masters of Wrestling. We appreciate it because we're here to create content from you, and we appreciate all your support. Also, the Power and Glory of the Podcast t-shirts, they are available. Use the email address in the description of this video. Get in contact with us. Give us your size, your details, and we'll provide you with payment information. If you are going to be in Canada, at least I will be, 1/3 of your team. I will be in Canada at 80s Con coming up next weekend. This airs Sunday, so next Saturday I will be there. I will actually be sitting with Luke, the Bushwhacker, Luke Williams. So I will
tell Roma said, hey, mate.
Absolutely. You know, Luke is just a great guy, as you know, Paul. He's been more than gracious. So he said we can go over there. So you'll find the Power and Glory podcast t-shirts right there with Luke and I. But that will be next week. So any of our Canadian fans, make sure you're there. But Paul, today's episode is going to be a pretty darn big one because we have our special guest who will be joining us, as well as our third member of our team here, Mario Mancini. He's always fashionably late.
Well, you know, he is the king of the cheesecakes. I mean, he gets to come and go whenever he pleases, and you know, these are one of those days. You know, it's that Friday, right?
Yeah, it's that Friday feeling. He's getting ready. He's getting ready. He's been in the kitchen. He's going in for more this weekend. Of course, spending some time with the Barefoot Contessa up in the Hamptons, actually. So, you know, Mario's he's gotten bigger than you and I, Paul. I mean, it's incredible. This guy is incredible. But nonetheless, so today we are expecting our special guest, Frank Shamrock from the UFC. Frank Shamrock.
My brother.
Apparently, to a lot of our viewers out there, one of your brothers, because of course, you've got two. You've got Frank and Ken Shamrock,
and
right?
Ken,
yeah. I mean, we're going to get to the bottom of whether you really are his brother today or not. But nonetheless, what a legend this man is. He's coming from the world of the UFC. This is totally opposite from pro wrestling. I mean, we're talking shoot fighting here.
Right.
You know, but Paul, you have experience in boxing and whatnot, and also martial arts. So for the benefit of our viewers, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, I did box professionally and I kickboxed prior to that.
Champions. They're not born in the gym. It starts from the inside and it works its way out. Do you feel it more difficult to obtain muscle? Are you tired or perhaps depressed? Then there's a solution. Our brand new partner and sponsor, Care Aesthetics of La Quinta, are here to help you get restored to optimal health. Just use the contact information in this video and schedule your free consultation. Be sure to mention the name of the podcast, whether that be Power and Glory, Styling, Masterclass, or Hey Roma, when doing so. We wish you all the best in your road to optimized health. And now, back to the show.
I want to be able to defend myself. Not just being a street fighter, but, be able to have some, how do you say it? Some form, some technique.
Yeah.
So I went to Matty Malisi, and he was a kickboxer. He had his own school. He trained me. And I wanted, my thing was this, is exactly what I said to him. What I want to know, and I want you to teach me, is how I could take somebody out as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And be taught. I wanted to learn that.
Yeah.
And that's just what he did.
Yeah.
I learned that from him.
We're going to get into that a little bit more, but right now at the bottom of our screen, we have been graciously joined by and I tell you what, he is a superstar, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that tan on Mr. Mario Mancini this week. He is tanned. Mario,
Wow.
did you just get back from a vacation?
You call that a tan. I call that high blood pressure. Go ahead.
He's modest, ladies and gentlemen. He's just trying
to. He won't tell you, but he was just down in Arizona for a few days. So he stayed out in the sun a little bit, and now he's back. Listen, It's okay, Mario. We know where you went. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't kayfabe us.
No, exactly.
I'm not kayfabing. I just I get dumped on so much. Maybe I didn't get all of it off. I don't know.
Is that it?
Mario,
anyway.
We're chit-chatting, Mario, because we were awaiting our special guest this week from the UFC, Mr. Frank Shamrock. And I was going over with Paul some of his background that some people may not know about his martial arts training, about his boxing career and stuff like that we don't get to talk about that much. So, Paul, do you think the fighting spirit was always in you? Is that why you wanted to pursue boxing and kickboxing?
I don't think it was a fighting spirit. I think it was a survival spirit that I had. Growing up where I did, having to deal with the how do you say this? The bullies that were around me. So it was sink or swim.
Yeah.
So I learned to swim.
It's hard to imagine bullies with the name bullies and you in the same conversation, Paul, because you obviously you toughened up big time. I mean, you were, obviously if you look at the pro wrestling roster, you were one of the toughest guys there. So you're saying at one point you were more reserved, more timid, more.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You grew up in an Italian family. You have Irish cousins. They're huge. Yeah. You're getting your brains pounded in. And pushed around. Okay, I get it. And you learn to fight for survival, but not a technique.
Right.
You don't have the toughness and the fighting ability because you're learning how to defend yourself. But there has to be some technique to it, not just toughness. Toughness helps.
Yeah.
And what I found was the key was this. This is what people just don't get and understand. You could be a hell of a fighter and you could be tough. But if you can't take one on the chin, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what most people just don't understand. If a guy whacks you on your chin, punches you in the face a few times, and you don't go down, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently you could take a punch. The big question I always say to people, and I joke when I say this, but I ask, can you? I know I could take a punch. The question is, can you?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you got to know, do you have that glass jaw? I mean, you've seen boxers over the years that can take a hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Frazier and just to name one in particular. I mean, talk about somebody who was tough.
Hmm.
It was him.
Yeah.
Roberto Duran,
Hmm.
another one that took it on the chin and shook it off and just came right back at you. And now you have the UFC. You
Yeah.
got guys there. My gosh, these guys, I don't want to mess with them,
No, no, for
you
sure.
know?
For sure. Yeah. Mario, were you privy to seeing any of Paul's martial arts or boxing throughout the years?
No, but he turned my stomach once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just by giving you a bad cheesecake that he'd purchased for you, but
No, no, man. We were in the gym and there was a long, heavy bag in the gym. It was one of those long ones,
yeah.
and it was sand.
Yeah.
They're like 200 pounds. And he was walking by it and he gave it a spinning back kick. You're talking about a 26-year-old Paul Roma.
Yeah.
And he bent it in half.
Wow.
And I went, oh, I just saw spleens and livers getting lacerated. I just went, oh, I wouldn't want to get hit with that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he almost hit.
Oh, he's funny.
He just missed me with his own spinning back kick. That was the Lisa Sliwa thing, though. Um, that I saw, but I was well aware of his background when he came in '84. He had mentioned that kickboxing background, so
Hmm.
I already knew about that one.
Paul, why didn't a question breaks to my mind is why didn't you use it as part of your shtick in wrestling? Why didn't you use kicks or
I mean, for me, there was no room for it. I used a drop kick.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That was one of the things. I
Hmm.
used my jumping ability and how I can throw really good strikes
Yeah.
and not hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, listen, I fought, I sparred
Hmm.
with my instructor who was like 130 pounds. I was probably 230
Hmm.
at the time, maybe a little bit more, give or take. And when this guy hit you, man, you felt all 130 pounds of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, he laid into you.
Yeah.
Whether he kicked you. The funny thing was he couldn't sweep my feet, which was great.
Well, because
I
of the
mean,
strength. Yeah. You were firm.
yeah,
You were solid. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't want to. I know it's going to sound kind of a little weird to our fans, but you know, I enjoyed getting kicked in the head.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what really got me riled up, so that I can spar with the other guys, because to me it wasn't fair. I was stronger than them. I had that how do you say it, that inner attitude.
Yeah.
So I would just show them that I compromised them and I had them, and then I'd back away from them just to let them know,
Mhm.
I could have taken you right there.
Yeah.
Um, that I enjoyed that. I thought it was great.
Mhm.
I really did. I never I walked away from so many disagreements, fights, because I wasn't worried about getting beat up. I was worried about the damage that I would do to somebody, and I avoided everything best I could. I was actually afraid, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. I was afraid.
Yeah,
I
that
was
makes sense.
afraid. I was afraid to fight.
That
I
does make
rather,
sense.
I rather, talk mean to somebody and show my rage and try to back them down
Hmm.
than to go the other way and have to fight them.
Well, yeah, it's because it's fine. It's final. If you attack somebody and you hit them hard enough and you kill them, that's it. I mean, you're not coming back from that. That's
Right. And
yeah.
not even so much that, or even, put them in a wheelchair, you
Right.
know, cripple them. And I was always worried
Hmm.
about that. Me, throwing that wicked right hand on the chin, hitting him on the chin. I
Yeah.
know he's going down. There's no doubt in my mind. If he doesn't go down, guess what? I'm going to go over, shake his hand, apologize to him, and tell him, not have a good day. I'm leaving,
Hmm. Yeah.
because there's no way. Back in the day when I threw a right on the chin, that you're staying up. There's just no way.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm being very sincere when I say this. I knew what my capabilities were and how much damage I can do. So
Mhm.
I would avoid as many fights as possible. And that was it, And did I get into some? Yeah. Did they turn out the way I thought they would? Yeah, exactly. I took somebody out in less than a minute. That was the whole point of me learning to kickbox. You know what I
So,
mean?
so Mario, question for you. When Paul was when he was back then, if you'd have transported him into the future and put him in the UFC, how well do you think Paul would have fared?
I think he would have fared very well. See, what you have to understand is this: the physical attributes are amazing when he was younger. Um, his athletic skill,
Mhm.
nothing will ever dominate his mental state.
Okay.
His body, his athletic ability, his strength, nothing is stronger than his mind.
Hmm.
That's the lethal part of him,
Yeah.
is his mind. So if he went into an octagon now at at the age of 26 years old, the Paul Roma of 26, he would have submitted a lot of guys. He probably would have been a champion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking there's more of a correlation than, as many fans believe that Paul is actually the brother of Ken and Frank Shamrock, which we will try and get to the bottom of eventually at some point today. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities there. Paul.
Now,
He
I don't mean to cut you off, but that brings up another point.
Hmm.
Um, there's a an older gentleman out there.
Mhm.
I think he has a couple years on me, maybe two. Um, I don't think we spoke much about, and I'd like to get him into that octagon
Mhm.
and maybe put a little Paul Roma hurting upside his head.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about none other than brother Hulk Hogan.
Are you
Oh,
kidding me, Roma?
Listen, brother. Okay, because that's all. Listen, I'm gonna slap the taste of brother out of his mouth.
what?
Every other word that comes out of his mouth is brother. So you know what? When I slap the taste out, I'm gonna
Oh
say to him,
God.
"How's that feel, brother?"
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Well, no, I mean, are you serious, Paul? I mean, you just,
Why
Ah,
not? Why
Jesus.
not?
God.
Why not? Why
Oh
not?
well,
God.
Listen. They're talking about what? They're putting together some shoot wrestling, right?
it's real American wrestling or something
Real
like that.
American
Yeah.
wrestling. Well, listen, he has a song and he claims to be a real American. Me, I'm a real American patriot right here. So
Hmm.
I say, let's have at it. Let's
Hmm.
do it. I'm willing to lose.
Hmm.
The question is he willing to lose?
You know what? But that's interesting that you bring that up because, obviously we know that, Hogan and Bischoff, both of them, you've got a history with both. I mean, let's face it. And they're both doing this thing. We've had guys from Shoot Pro Wrestling on here. Of course, Mario a few weeks ago let his frustrations out. And actually now he's going to be training with Larry Zbyszko and them in preparation if The Undertaker responds to his challenge. I think it would be good because you've said some things, Paul, in the past, and I'd like for you to elaborate on that. One of the things I did want to bring up with Frank when he comes on today, I just got a text right now. He should be joining us soon. Is philanthropy, and this is one of the things that is very near and dear to you, Paul. It has been for years, doing things for St. Jude's, working with kids, cancer kids, et cetera, et cetera, and it's so monumental. I saw an interview by Stephanie McMahon. She interviewed Chris Angel this week on her podcast. And Chris Angel was talking about the importance of giving back and working with kids and stuff like that. It's very fascinating to hear that from him. I didn't think he was of that mindset. But you mentioned before about Hogan, that back in the day, he wasn't that inclined to, work with some of these people. If you want to elaborate on that again.
Yeah. So for some of the people that haven't heard it, I bear witness to hearing him say, hey, a kid had come in late after we went and took pictures and we did a little meet and greet with these kids, handicapped kids, kids that aren't in such great shape. And then there was another kid that I don't want to say they forgot about, but he came in kind of late, and they pretty much wheeled him in on a bed, and they went in and told Hogan, "Hey, can you, come on? There's another kid," and he threw his hands up and got a little pissy about it, and said, "I'm not getting paid for this," and made a comment like that, and I overheard it, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
Did I really just hear what I heard? Because I had respect for you." And I liked you as a person. Now you have no respect coming from me. And I about want to whoop your ass right now. Only problem is, like anything, if I do, A, I'm out of a job, and B, you're out of a job, and I'm getting sued because I cost you your career. So you know what? Again, let's have at it. I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm 66 years old, man.
Right.
Let's have at it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'll take an ass beating if he thinks he could give me one. Let's go.
Mario, I got to bring you in on this because, I had no idea that we were going to go this route on this episode. I thought we were just going to talk about Frank and the UFC. Um, Obviously, Mario, there's validity to this. You've got frustrations against Hulk. But before I begin, Mario, is that the only frustrations you have against Hogan, or are there other things along the way that may have rubbed you the wrong way how he conducted himself?
Well, he was two-faced. Said one thing, did another. Told people one thing, wasn't going to do it regardless. I know Piper had some issues at times, but again, that's neither here nor there because it's all about me right now and him. Just that alone, when it came to handicapped kids, was enough.
Yeah.
That was enough to turn the tide.
Yeah.
I never got over it.
Right. Well,
I just carry it with me. It's like having a purse. You know what I'm saying? I open up that purse. I know what's in it. I'm opening Pandora's box. That's what's going on. And he's coming out of it, and all hell's going to break loose. So, again, if I see him, I am not that person that is not cordial to people because I am. I'll say hello. I'll shake his hand. I got nothing else to say after that. I'm done. I've had enough.
So you're looking at potentially just, officially putting a challenge out right now to Hulk Hogan. This is officially what you're doing. So what kind of match you talking, like a UFC style match or a wrestling match? What is this challenge?
I'm not wrestling. Come on, man. Wrestling. What are they going to tell me to do a job for Hogan?
No, of course not. I mean, are you doing more UFC? Or are you talking this shoot pro style? What are you thinking?
Listen, I'll do it. I rather do UFC, but I'm good with whatever.
Okay, so
I haven't even seen this shoot style wrestling.
Okay, well,
I've never seen it. I have no idea what it is.
Well, we're about to. In 3 weeks, some new episodes are coming out. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video. Mario, what are you making of the situation right now?
Hogan, where he wouldn't last a minute with Roma. He's like crippled.
Well, he will be when I get done with him.
Well, there's no doubt
in that
about
squared
that,
circle
Roma,
or octagon.
I think he had a couple of hip replacements. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, what's that saying he always says? Hey, what are you gonna do when these 20 some on pythons? Listen, look.
Yeah.
They're still working.
Yeah.
That's right. I may have had the Widowmaker, but they're still working.
Well,
as long as air goes into these lungs.
I'll put it to you this way. I would have put my money on Roma in 84, and I'll put my money on Roma in 25.
It's a good bet, Mancini. A good bet.
Yeah.
I know.
I
I
think we're going to end up being like FanDuel. We're going to put it out there for people to bet.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I definitely think it's something worthwhile. I mean, we know that, like I said, Hogan and Bischoff, I don't know the two of them. I can just go based on what the tabloids put out, the news media, and what I hear from the likes of the two of you. But it definitely sounds like they probably did rub a lot of people the wrong way throughout their careers. And now they're trying to launch this venture, which, like I said a few weeks ago, it seems odd because it's so similar to this company that Frank Shamrock is the chairman of, Shoot
Right.
Pro Wrestling. It's very it's similar with, I think it's called All American Wrestling or something like, the Real American brand or something like that, which they have claimed that they created from scratch. But, we know from some very close sources that they were eyeballing and around this project 3 or 4 years ago. They were watching the competition, so to speak, seeing
Right.
some of their marketing ideas. So we are still waiting for Frank. I know he's in Hawaii, so there is probably
Ah,
some time delays. But I did get a text, so I guess they're working on things now. I just got another text now. I guess he's supposed to be coming on any second, because bear with us, audience, as we work out these details. Sometimes you got to bear with us, Power and Glory fans. For greatness, great things take time, right? Am I wrong? No.
listen, Roma wasn't built in a day.
Right. So when we get you a big guest like Frank Shamrock, who rarely ever does any media
Yeah,
appearances.
and we appreciate him coming on. Listen, I know he's my brother, but brothers are tough to get on the show too.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean,
Mom, it's
even Ken, even Ken,
so
we've yet to be
excited.
graced by Ken. I'm
Yeah.
sure we're gonna plan that in the near future. Paul, while we're waiting for Frank, let's talk a little bit about boxing as well. Boxing, because we went
Okay.
into martial arts. Now, boxing. When was the first time you picked up the gloves, and how far did you get in terms of boxing career?
So I didn't get far. It was they were trying to get me to box Gastineau from the New York Jets. And about the time I was coming up, or I had my fights, he got beat. And they kind of, that was it, because they
Hmm.
wanted to schedule the first pro wrestler turning pro boxer to fight the first pro football player to turn pro boxer.
Got it.
And that was going to be, the niche, right? That was the thing. That was the catch. That was supposed to work, but he had gotten beat, and then they said, "Oh, well, ba boop, ba beep," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever." So I was 2-1. I had a 59-second knockout of one of the guys I fought. Don't ask me the year, can't remember, and
Hmm.
don't care.
Hmm.
Kevin Rooney, who was one of Tyson's trainers, trained me. I was up
Yeah.
in the Catskills training with him, living at his house with some of the other fighters. And so I went 2-1
Mhm.
and, walked away. I looked at myself and said, dude, you're too old.
Yeah.
You can't be doing this at your age.
Yeah.
Running every morning, a few miles every morning, getting up at the butt crack of dawn. So it was tough, it was tough. But listen, I knew I can do. Again, not sounding like a complete jerk, but there's nothing I can't do,
Yeah.
especially when I was healthy and young.
Hmm.
So when I was asked to do it, I told him yes, I'll do it, and I did.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'm glad I did.
Yeah. There's another wrestler who would have come up. I'm not sure if he's similar age to you, Paul, now, but I know Mark Marrow, Johnny B. Bad. I know he was a boxer too for a
I
while.
heard he was. Yeah.
Was that near Mario? Do you know the details? Was Mark Marrow up near you guys? Was he up in New York area? Or was he somewhere
No,
else?
I was in WCW with him.
No, I
I'm
know
not
that, but when he was
sure.
boxing.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not too familiar with him.
Yeah.
yeah.
How was he to you in WCW, Paul? Did you have a camaraderie with Johnny B. Bad?
No, I mean, it was. I mean, we didn't hang out.
Hmm.
We didn't have dinner together really.
Hmm.
I met at that time his girlfriend. Very polite, very respectful to her. I made it a point to be respectful to any female that any of the guys brought around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was over respectful because I never wanted it to ever come back that I was rude or I hit on them or I was inappropriate in any way. I mean, anything, whatever you could think of.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Yeah.
I made it a point to make sure it didn't
Mhm.
because if it didn't happen and I got called out on it, well, I'm going to beat your ass.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm going to fight you. We're good with that.
Mhm.
But if I did do something like that, it's a little harder for me to fight you because I'm in the wrong.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Speaking of women and stuff like that, Mario, again, while we're waiting for Frank to join us, we know last week you kind of teased us. You said that you were purchasing a pair of shoes for the Barefoot Contessa because she is barefoot. So I did want to see if you followed up on that and if you got to spend some time with her in the Hamptons this week, going over some recipes.
Wait. Don't let him answer that. Don't answer that
All
yet,
right.
Mario.
All right.
First, I want all of our people to go hit that subscribe button.
Yep, that's right.
After they do that, then you could give them the answer.
Powerplex that subscribe button
That's
now,
right. That's
immediately.
right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, Mario.
Well, unfortunately, I'm sad to report that we've had a falling out.
Really?
Yeah,
What the
yeah.
heck happened? What have you done now, Mario?
Well.
Seriously.
I was mixing a chocolate cheesecake, and she said, you should add some sour cream
Hmm.
to that to cut the bitterness. And I said, I disagree.
Yeah.
I use heavy cream, and she said, no, that's not proper. You should use sour cream. It escalated. I
Hmm.
stepped on her big toe because she's barefoot.
Yeah.
Um, didn't go well.
Damn, Mario.
Wow.
You know what? You had the whole world, Mario, right there. The
Didn't go
barefoot
well.
contest. I mean, the combination of you, master cheesecake maker extraordinaire, combined with the barefoot contester, you would have owned, dominated the cooking industry, Mario.
The
Owned
barefoot cheesecake, I mean, something like that, right? Barefoot cheesecakes.
Barefoot, yeah.
Yeah.
bare, barefoot
Yeah.
Barefoot
cheesecakes.
cheesecake, yeah.
Yeah. But
It's,
you know what? Listen, now it's my turn. I got to defend him.
yeah.
Who is she to
Well,
tell him how to make a cheesecake?
Well,
He is the
what,
best.
but what really made her leave was, after I stepped on her toe, she went to step on mine, and her heel went through to the floor because she tried to step on the second toe of my right foot and wasn't
Ah,
there.
oh
So
yes.
I
bad
ended up
move.
I ended up laughing at her, and she got upset and left.
It's
All
not
right,
right.
even
It's not
more,
right.
even more. Well, you know what, Mario? Doesn't matter because you, in due time, will be able to purchase a home right there in the Hamptons. In fact, several with the accumulated wealth that you're going to be rolling in once the cheesecakes. Which I also want to remind the viewers, Mario, remember that proclamation you made for every 1,000?
Yep,
Yes. Okay.
yep,
So
yep. For every 1,000, the 1,000th person. So here's an example. If we have 1,200 subscribers,
mhm.
the next 800 who hits 2,000, the person who's 2,000, I will ship a cheesecake to.
There
The
you go.
person who's 3,000, I will ship a cheesecake to.
There you go. All right. So we're looking for that magic number. We're on our way to 3,000. So we're looking for the 3,000th subscriber. So don't hesitate. Initiate. Powerplex that subscribe button right now and share with your friends and family because your friend or your family may be that lucky subscriber. And then you
Yeah.
can share the cheesecake with them. And I
Yes.
can attest through testimony and I can attest, Mario knows what he's talking about when he's baking cheesecakes, just like Paul knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to kicking somebody's ass. So,
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Listen, this is what I'm going to do right now. Speaking about kicking someone's ass,
yeah.
I got to go find Frank. I'm going to
Hmm.
get on a plane. I'm going to go find Frank right now.
Yeah,
Okay. We got to have a chat
yeah.
because Frank's going to be training me to whoop up on Hulk Hogan.
You know what, Paul? It's that
That's how I'm leaving it.
you're
That's how I'm leaving it right now.
okay. So you want
Follow me, Mario. You with me? I'm
With you.
taking off. I'm going. Listen, I'm gonna go book my flight right now. I'm gonna go find Frank. Frank, and if you come on this show while I'm gone, I'm gonna really be upset because I'm coming out there to get you so that you can train me for the octagon. You got it? So I'm checking out right now, guys. I'm getting off right now. I'm going after. I'm going to go find them. And you tell them I'm coming, all right? You make sure you tell them I'm coming right now.
Well, I did text again our correspondence. I'm going to try and give him a few more minutes here, just a
I'm going to
couple more
drag them
minutes.
on the show.
I'm going to
That's what
try
I'm going to
because,
do.
like I said, I know he's in Hawaii. Um, Okay, so we're just going to give him a few more minutes here. If he doesn't come on within, say, 7 more minutes, we'll bring the show to a close. But I know he was supposed to give us about 20 minutes today. I know he's a busy man, so we will hang on a little bit there. But yeah, yeah, if you're challenging
I know what it
Hogan,
is. I
okay,
know what it is. Okay? Just like Ken,
hmm
Frank doesn't want to come on like Ken
hmm
because I'm on the show and they know I'm the better looking brother. That's all there is to it. I know that's what it is.
you
I
Could
know
know
be
what,
that's
it.
what it is. They got to get over it, guys. Get over it, guys.
That could be
Get
it.
over it.
Mario,
Okay? I'm the better looking of all of you guys. You got to get over it.
Mario, Mario, you were
I'm
going to
here.
say something. You were going to say something.
No, I agree.
You just
I
agree.
agree. I agree. I bet you Ken Shamrock got mistaken for Paul Roma more than Paul Roma got mistaken for Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
he always gets mistaken for Ken Shamrock. I mean, we've talked about it, Paul. You've said in the past. I mean, there's a reason they call you Pretty Paul Roma, and there's a reason they just call him the world's most dangerous man. But,
Yeah.
however,
Yeah.
however, after hearing what you've been saying today, the world's most dangerous man moniker may also need to go in your direction. I mean,
Well, listen, I'm not going to swipe anything. I like Pretty Paul Roma.
yeah,
I'll live and die with that. I'm good with that.
yeah, yeah,
Okay? Ken, my brother, Frank, my other brother from another mother, these guys, they're just going to have to owe up to the fact that they're not as good looking as me. And that's okay.
yeah, yeah,
But Frank is still going to train me.
yeah.
And I'm going to bring a whole hell a lot of whoop ass with me.
All right. So just to confirm, Paul, because like I said, originally this episode was intended to go in a different direction, but you have completely pulled the rug out from both Mario and I. So to reiterate, you are officially challenging Hulk Hogan. You have asked Frank Shamrock to train you, and you are putting that challenge out there to Hulk Hogan right now.
Right now.
Okay. So Hulk Hogan, if you happen to be watching this, if somebody gets this to Hulk Hogan, Paul Roma, one of your former peers from WWF, has officially challenged you to a shoot style match. Paul said it would rather be UFC, but if it has to be a shoot pro wrestling style thing, he has challenged you officially, and he will be getting trained by Frank Shamrock.
Yeah.
And this is, are we going to set a time frame for the response on this, Paul, or are you just going to?
You know what? Listen, I can't force somebody that's afraid to go in the squared circle with me.
Mm-hmm.
So at least let him be man enough to give me a response. Yay or nay is fine. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be sweet. You don't have to send me a nice basket of fruit, to sweeten me up. It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
Hulk. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just say you don't want any part of me, and it's all good. You go about your business, I go about mine, and we leave it lie right where it is.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna definitely we're definitely gonna hope that we hear a response here from Hulk Hogan at some point here. I think it would be great for the fans. Probably be grueling for Hulk himself at this point in his career. But like I said, I mean, there seems to be some sort of bad blood between the two of you on some level. He is affiliated with Eric Bischoff, and we know Bischoff has been pretty toxic in some of the things he said about you and stuff in the past. So, what they say, birds of a feather,
Maybe Eric could teach him. Maybe he could train him. They could train together. How nice would that be?
That's right. Eric's, he does martial arts, right? From what I
I don't
understand.
know. I've heard things, not sure.
Yeah, I think he does. I'm going to take the attention down to Mario here. Mario, I see you flicking through a magazine right now. What are you looking up?
Well,
Cooking?
I'm trying to find Hogan's surgeries right now. you know, so I had a magazine that kind of mentioned his ailments.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think I don't know. He might be out of commission. Although I would like to see it myself.
Hmm.
But I don't know unless Hogan can get trained and work around his hip somehow. I mean, I have you
Sure.
seen it? I listen. I understand where Rome is coming from, and there's one thing if you want to reiterate. You know, uh, Roma wanted to be some sort of professional athlete,
Hmm.
whether it be a pro boxer, a pro football player, pro wrestler, because he wanted to work with the kids. He wanted to be a role model for the kids. So you have Hogan, getting a little agitated over somebody who's special needs. It is going to stay with Roma his whole life.
Hmm.
He's never gotten over that. He's never forgotten about that. So I don't, that's what he wants, man. He wants to go after Hogan for it. Maybe if Hogan accepted his challenge and actually he went in there with him, then maybe, then after that, maybe Roma could put it to bed. Maybe he
Hmm.
can actually, have peace with it because in Roma's mind, for that kid, he would have, beat his ass.
Yeah. No, and I think so. I think the most admirable trait anybody could have going into any field where you are a public figure is the motivation there should be for what you're going to do for the youth. If it's not, if it's hinged upon I want fame, I want fortune, I want this, I want that, all me, 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 you've already started off on the wrong foot. And I feel just like you, Paul. Everything I do is directed towards I'm looking at that younger generation. I want to be able to inspire them or help them or do something for them and lift them up. You know what I mean? So I know what you feel. And if you're around people that are not like that, it can kind of piss you off. I get it.
Yeah,
I
you could
get it.
say that. And I've been carrying that pissed off right over here on my shoulder. That's right, on my shoulder. Can you see it? It's right there.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's time to knock it off my shoulder if he's man enough to step in the octagon with me. I'm man. Listen, I'm willing to take an ass whooping.
Hmm.
I'm willing to get beat. The
Hmm.
question is, I always ask other people, are you, are you willing to get beat? That's the question. And that's what I'm going to leave with my fans.
Yeah.
I'm signing off. I'm pissed.
Hmm.
I'm going to go hit a heavy bag right now.
Hmm.
And I will see all of you next week. God bless you. Thank you for being here. I will talk to you soon.
Wow. Mario. Okay.
That was abrupt.
All right, that was abrupt. He's gone. Paul is off. Mario, like I said, we were waiting for Frank. He didn't make it on here today. I do apologize to our viewers for that. We didn't advertise that he would be with us today, so hopefully that's not going to upset anybody. It will just make the opening of this video seem a little bit odd, but nonetheless, we still worked through it. We came out, Mario, with an incredible challenge laid out. Paul, we'll talk to him obviously later and find out what went on. But for sure, we've got some breaking news here. So,
Absolutely.
Mario, any closing statements for our viewers this week?
Well, listen, want everybody to have a fantastic weekend. You know, make sure you're safe as the official kickoff to summer was Memorial Day, and as people anticipate 4th of July, um, be safe because you know what, Amir, there's something about these summer months. They just in New England
Hmm.
here, it's certainly something special because we have 4 seasons and we certainly go through brutal winters. So when the summer comes, it is really something special. People get to go to the beach, they get to cook outside, and it's something you can't do in December. But with that, comes fireworks and alcohol and everything else. So it just everybody have a good weekend and be safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I concur with that. Of course, summer's here, vacation, schools are out. Kids, if any kids are watching our broadcast, take care, be vigilant, always look over your shoulder. When your parents do tell you to do something, don't go against them. Do what they're saying. They do know better than you. You do not know everything at that point. So yeah, everybody stay safe. And like I said, we'll be working on the Frank Shamrock, bringing him back. We will give you updates on all of these latest happenings right here from Power and Glory, the podcast. We encourage you all, again, to Powerplex that subscribe button, hit the likes, share with your friends and family. And also, just a reminder, I will be at 80s Con in Ottawa, Canada, Quebec, Canada, for 80s Con this next Saturday. So I'll be there representing Power and Glory. Mara and Paul, unfortunately, will not be there due to unforeseen circumstances, but you can find me and you can find our Power and Glory, the podcast t-shirts. I will be with Luke Williams, the Bushwhacker, one half of the Bushwhackers. So, but until then, Mario, God bless you, sir.
God bless you, brother.
All right. And God bless all of you. We'll see you next week right here. Oh, sorry, week after next, right here on Power and Glory. Take care.
You got it. Take care.